Good evening and welcome to You Create Art at Home. And it's a Friday evening and here we go. Now, I'm super excited. We are starting something a little bit different. So we are doing a little mini series of art today. So I'm just going to have a little chat with you and wait for people to come on. I know there's a few of you that are wanting to do this. So I'm waiting for a few of you to come on. I'm sure you will. It's going to be a 3-part mini series. So what does that mean? Well, it means for the next 3 Fridays, we're going to do a different painting, but all in the same theme. So that when you put them all together, you could frame 3 beautiful pieces of paper. You could put 3 canvases together. It would make a very special Christmas gift, I'm thinking. So I'm thinking ahead now. We're all getting this abundance of art, which is super fantastic. Hello, Pam or Mummy. I always love it when my mum comes on because it's at the moment, the only way we really are connecting, which is digitally. And if that's the way I'm connecting with my mum, I'm okay with that. So we've got Janet, welcome from Saddleworth in the UK. Welcome, Janet, come on in. I'm sure there's many more people coming. When you're popping on, please say hi in the chat below. Tell me your name and where you're dropping in from. We could be in Australia today or we could be from the UK. And as I was just saying, this is really super exciting because this is a 3-part mini-series. Now, I've done challenges that have rolled through, but this is our 3-part mini-series of 3 beautiful pictures, and I have picked Santorini in Greece. I absolutely love Greece. I have only been once, and it is on my bucket list to return with husband and no kids. I want to go to Greece and island hop when I have no pressure, no stress, no agenda, just me, a bucket full of olives, a cask of wine, and maybe a painting kit. Who else have we got? We've got Kim. Hi, Kim. How are you? And Gillian. Gillian's watching. You'll paint next week. That's fine. Anna. Hi, Anna. Welcome. You love Greece. Me too. We've got Linda from Logan in Cornwall. Welcome, Linda. Gillian's from Shropshire. Fantastic. Yeah, I love Greece. It is, Greece, Italy, quintessentially Mediterranean. And, as a child, I had many, many fond, happy family holidays in France, in Spain, touring the South Mediterranean. It just has, even though Australia is hotter, it has a kind of brightness and heat that radiates summer, It might be the whitewashed walls, it might be that electric blue. And although we do have that in Australia, Australia has this kind of, chilled back kind of vibe, that kind of surfy, yellow sand, blue sea. And yes, it does have iridescent waters. I'm not denying it. I'm not going to be here and them and us. But there's something about the Mediterranean that is just blow your socks off, isn't it? And I think, it has age. It has smell and taste of summer, like the abundance of beautiful food and wine and cobbled streets and markets. I mean, just love it. Hello, Tracy. We've got Sylvia from Ludgeford. Joe Davey, welcome, welcome. And Anne, welcome from the Darwin Driftwood Living, UK. I don't know where that is. Let me read it again. Darwin Driftwood. Where's Darwin? And whereabouts is that? Sounds like it should be in Devon, but that might be just because it's a D. I'm not sure where that is, so you'll have to give me. We've got Diane from, oh my goodness, I'm never going to say that. You know that. I cannot pronounce it, and my mum gave me right grief for not knowing where this place in Cornwall is. I'm going to say it, try it. You know I'm going to get this wrong. I want to say it's Peronuthero. Peronuthero? I mean, come on. Mind you, you go to Australia and there is some absolutely humdinger names that you cannot pronounce. So, we've got them all, haven't we? So this 3-part mini-series. Listen, the whole point about this is that you don't stress. You use what you use what you've got, and you just use what you've got. Did I say that correctly? You use what you've got. I don't want you to get anxious if you haven't got acrylics. I don't want you to get anxious if you haven't got a canvas. None of that matters. Nobody's looking at your art except for you, okay? This is for you to enjoy a little bit of passionate time, passionate in a non-kind of overtly friendly way, if you know what I mean. No, a delve into something just lovely, you know, like a beautiful tub of ice cream, you know. I don't know. I feel like I'm on drugs. I haven't had anything. In fact, peeps, I'm on water tonight. So my hubby's gone out in the city for a social distancing evening with his mates, and I'm left looking after the kids. Not that I don't drink, not that I have to, you know, stay sober because they're older now. But anyway, I'm not drinking. Lancashire. Thank you, Anne. Who else have we got? We got Helen from Newquay. Hello, hello. Welcome in, ladies. No gents today, so it's a ladies only. Woohoo! Excuse my little headband. This is a DIY special from the ribbon box. Because as I was getting ready, my hair was flopping in my face. I washed it this morning. It's too fluffy, so I found a piece of ribbon and I've tied a piece of ribbon in my hair. You know, you just use what you got, don't you? Alrighty, so I was saying this is the mini series. So I am using these, okay? These are my canvases. They are 8 by 10, or in modern, we all still talk in inches, don't we? 8 by 10 inches, which is 20 by 25. So that's the size I'm using for the 3 paintings. It looks like it's larger in this pitch here, but look, if I show you my hand, you can see the size against my hand. So yeah, although it's enlarged in the camera, it is a small little, so I'm going to have 3 little small ones. And like I say, this would be a great present, wedding present, somebody who you know, who's got fond memories of Greece. Or if you love it, put it, I reckon, we've got a balcony outside of our bedroom, and I'm going to seal it. So I'm going to show you how to seal them so that they're good for outside, especially canvases. You need to waterproof them. So I'm going to show you how to do that on the 3rd Friday. Next Friday, you're in for a special treat because it's actually my wedding anniversary and it's my sister's birthday. And it's my wedding anniversary, so I might have my hubby here having a little champagne on the side. We were going to go out, but you know what? There is nowhere. Well, you can go out, and like David's gone out tonight, but you have to pre-book somewhere. Everywhere's table service, and it's only 20 people per venue. So you think, really, it's like we could spend $100 on a night that's, so probably $150. So we decided not to do that. Okie dokie. So what I could do with knowing from you all, gorgeous people. Hello, Sandra. You're watching. You're going to do later from Tor Point. You're welcome. And Lana's here from the UK, from Brizzy and Molly. Beautiful. Welcome, welcome. There are locals, my beautiful friends that do sip and paint with me all the time, which I love. I'm going to show you the colours that I've got. Let's see if I can get that in the camera. So I've got, you can see I have the lovely advantage of having 3 different colour blues. I have purple, cerise pink, a yellow, an orange. I've done a couple of dollops of white. I'm not actually sure how much white I'm going to need. Probably not as much as that. But my intention with this, and you can have a go as well, is I'm actually going to put a cling film over the top of this. Cling film is an English word. In Australia, it's glad wrap. But I'm going to put glad wrap over the top of this, and I'm hoping that this palette, if you take the air out of it, the paint should be good for next week. So that's what I'm planning to do, okay? So if you can do the same at home, then give it a go. If nothing else, you're going to preserve some of it. It might crust over a little bit. So let's have a little round robin and find out what you're using tonight. Give me a 1 if you're on acrylics, 2 if you're watercolours, 3 if you're using pastels, chalk pastel, oil pastel crayons, 4 if you're in pencils or felt tip pens, and 5 if you're just doing a sketch. Don't worry if you're watching, I know you'll catch me up on the replay. If you are watching this on the replay, which sounds really strange to the people who are watching live, and you're like, what do you mean if you're watching me on this replay? Well, just to give you an example, ladies, when I do these sip and paints, and even if I do a lunchtime session, I might only have 1 viewer. Within 24 hours, the world being as big as it is, I often have 200, 300, 400 views. a couple of these sip and paints have now gone over a couple of thousand views. So they go and get viewed incredibly amount of times. And then I have messages from people. I've had a lady from Oregon, or I want to say Oregano, but it's not Oregon in America. I have a regular lady now, Mary, who's from Florida. And so, you know, people are dipping in and dipping out when it suits their schedule. And so when I say hashtag, tell me if you're on the replay, it means that if you put a hashtag on and you put the word replay, it comes up in my notifications so I can respond to that person and they get that sort of communication and community feel with me as well. So if you ever do watch anybody else's live and you've watched it after it's been live, then just write hashtag replay and they know to have a look and they'll see what if you've left them a message, they'll see their message and they'll be able to respond to you, which is really nice, isn't it? Okay, are we ready? Let's see what we've got. We've got acrylic, acrylic, acrylic. We're sketching with Anne, acrylic, watercolour pencils, a 4 which was pastels and 1 which is acrylics, okie dokie. So watercolour pencils are going to be fine. We're doing a bit of texture work today. So when you're doing your pencils, when you start to put the water on at the end, you want to not, so there'll be times when you want to flood over the pencil to create the watery blend. And there are times when we do all of the floral work, you're going to want to keep some of that texture. So when we come to that, I'll remind you, and you want to kind of use your brush and kind of dab it so that the colour spreads, but not so that it floods and you lose the texture, okay? With pastels, can I ask, are they chalk pastels or oil pastels? Let me just understand that. Please, can I show the palette again? Yes, I can. Kim, have you got chalk or oil pastel? If they're chalk pastel, I would always blend colour. Even though you want to create texture, you want to blend and use your fingers to blend the colour first, and then you'll draw on top to get sort of more defined lines, and that will give you the texture that you're looking for, okay? If it's oil pastel, you're not going to be able to blend. So if you're using oil pastel, you can't blend, you can't mix, so you're going to have to kind of do that knitting together, which is what we do with coloured pencils or felt tip pens, textures, where you put one colour here, one colour there, and they kind of sit together. Sorry, I am pencil. That's okay, fine. So I've just had all of that and you're, nobody's a pastel. Oh well, you know what to do for next time. Are we ready? Let's get going. All right, where's my paintbrushes? Here. So if you see me, when I'm over here and I'm painting, and you see me keep on dipping over here, it's because I'm checking your messages. And my husband gave me a ticking off. He said, the problem with you is you talk too much and you're painting and you forget the poor people that are behind, well, he said behind the camera, and I suppose you are behind the camera. They ask a question and you always forget to go back and check and then answer the question. So if I've done that to you in the past and before, I am very, very sorry. I do sort of rise into adrenaline mode when I'm doing this, and I apologise. So tonight I will take my time and I will check the questions as they pop on, okay? And if I haven't answered your question, just go, Bess, oi, you, answer my question. Put your hand up, give me a shake, give me some love, give me some hearts, make me, you know, shake me like this. And hopefully I'll get there. Okay, can I do the colours again? Holy dooly, what are you lot on? Stop drinking your wine, colours are coming. Okay, I have the advantage of having, like I said, a couple of blues. So I've got dark blue, light blue, purple, pink, yellow, orange. Now these are both whites. I'm not quite sure why I've put so much white because it is only a small canvas. But anyway, a dark green and a light green. Okay, yep, there. And I am going to be painting with my fingers tonight a little bit. And this is not working on the old headband, is it? I am going to be painting with my fingers tonight, and I am going to show you that if you have, I don't know if any of you have a paint palette knife. If you do, pop it down below, say, yes, I've got a palette knife. If you've got one, maybe you are an artist or you've got a few bits and bobs at home. If you've got a palette knife, then I can show you how to do a little bit of palette knifing because it's really nice. It's a very textural painting, this. So it's really nice to be able to use that. Sorry, colours again, done that. This is so exciting. I know, I can't wait. Let's dive in, let's dive in, let's dive in. All right, let's go. I'm a little bit nervous, I'm not going to lie, because I never really painted this before. So, you know, we're in it together. Okay. And it's so small. You know, I'm used to big. When I paint to you, I've got these big canvases. Got this witchy little tiny thing. I'm worried. We might be done in half an hour. What are you going to do on a Friday night if you haven't got me chatting for so long? All right. So let's get to our drawing, okay? Drawing tool. Round brush. Keep it, I mean, doesn't really matter what size you've got, whatever you can find. Doesn't really matter, I guess. Let's go for that. I'm going for that one there. So there's my little finger, that kind of small one. I think somebody told me that if I do that in front of my hand, it's a bit easier for you guys to see. Yes, I have palette knives. Yes, you've got a palette knife. Awesome. Yes, got a palette knife. Yes, I have. If you haven't got a palette knife, options are a regular knife from your drawer, and don't forget you can paint it, or a plastic knife, or a plastic spoon or a plastic fork, or a lollipop stick. That's very English. In Australia, they're called paddle pop sticks. So something like that. If you've got something that can lay on and pull back, we'll have a little play later, shall we? Okay, let's draw first. Now, the painting is pretty much, hopefully you've seen it, the one we're doing tonight out of the trilogy is the Santorini church. So it's the one with the blue dome, yeah? It's absolutely atypical Greece, yeah? So we're going to draw it in and mark the composition first. So are you ready? Are you ready? Let's go. Okay, I'm getting a little bit of blue on my brush. I'm dipping it in the water. Oh, I tell you what I haven't got. Hang on, I haven't got myself a cloth. Just look at the picture for a minute. I need a cloth. Luckily, with my lovely roving mic, no matter where I go, you can still hear me. Got one, got one. Okay, got a cloth. Can't do art without a cloth, people. All right, so I'm using the blue. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to mark. The weird thing about this is normally I say mark top, bottom, side, side. Now this is like a close-up of the church. So there's no horizon. It's literally deep set into the image, okay? So there's no horizon. The sea is going to be flooded right to the top, okay? So what we need to draw is the church. And you need to create a dome. So if this is the center of my paper here, it's going to be up in the top left. Now don't stress too much if you get it slightly different shape to me. Position to me. Okay, so just a nice semicircle dome shape, yeah? A nice cup shape. What I don't want you to do is go straight across, okay? We need to create some dimension, and so I want you to go down to a point and down to a point, and then I want you to go straight across. Okay, so you've almost, I don't know what that shape would be. 1, 2, 6, 6 sides. What's a 6-side shape? Sixagon. Pentagon's 5. Sixagon. No, what's a 6-sided shape? Octagon is 8. I don't even know. I have no idea. Well, whatever it is, it's a sixagon. That's what I'm going to say. It's a sixagon, people. All right, so we've got a sixagon shape. I know you're going to write it for me in a minute. Can I use white spirits with acrylics as one if 2 are a bit lumpy? Not white spirits. You want to use white spirits you would use with oils. You want to use just water to let it down. So here's a top tip with, it's a quick art hack for you. When you have paints that are like that, it means they've actually probably gone off a little bit. However, sometimes they smell a bit. I have painted in schools and the kids have like squeezed the paint out and they've gone, oh, it smells like poo, miss. Not that yours might smell like poo, but the easiest way is to put it out and get a fork and you kind of mash it and reapply it. And sometimes what I do is cut open the whole of my tube if it's in a tube and put it into a little Tupperware pot. Get some water, mash it down just like you would like, because it'll end up being a bit like egg mayonnaise kind of thing. So you mash it down, re-emulsify it, and then it's good to go. But you need to keep it airtight. Yeah, unfortunately, they do eventually sort of run out. Thanks, Bess. You're okay. Hexagon. Is it a hexagon? Hexagon sounds like it's okay. I'm not gonna say you're wrong because you're probably right. Okay, so you've got this little side of your hexagon. And what we're going to do is we want it to go a little bit further than your dome. And then I want you to go straight down and straight down. And this one here should have gone over a little bit more. Straight down there. So that one there needs to be a little bit narrower. That one in the middle is the widest, okay? Just so that we get that sort of going round shape. I don't know about you, but I'm loving it already. Starting to look fab. Awesome. Now, the key with this is getting the kind of dimensions of 3 dimensions. So this is one panel of our church, and we want this line here to come out to there and out to there. So this is the side face of the church, okay? This is the front face, the side face of the church. Then, so I'm going to let you do those lines, otherwise we're going to get a little bit lost. Please say stop or slow down if I get too fast, okay? And we can paint over all of these, so don't panic if you get it wrong. So this one here, we want to do a little angle line there as a flat roof. From here, we're going to go vertically down, and the same on that side. And now I want to go, now it's not horizontal, it's angled, sort of similar to that angle there, but a little bit lower, because I don't want it to join those lines, because then I'm going to put a piece like that, and it's almost like a little flat roof on that side. Now, if you get a weird shaping going on, bear in mind we're going to paint over all of this with white in a minute. So you can always overpaint the blue lines. And what's beautiful is because this Grecian picture is all about the blue, if a bit of blue shines through, fantastic. That's the way it should. Okay, so that's the main structure. In this one here, we're going to put in an arch. And you do another arch in the inside, but you only do, like, you don't do, how can I explain that? You do a curve in the inside and just down one side, and that gives you that 3 dimension, yeah? That kind of popping backwards. Does that make sense? I'm not explaining it very well, but you understand. So I did both bits of the arch, and the next one, you just start from the inside there, you just do the curve, and then you do the parallel line. So I'm sure last Friday when I was doing this with you, I said to you guys, there's singing going upstairs on in the church. Do you remember? And I snuck in. Well, there's singing again tonight. And I came home and I said to David, oh God, they were singing. It was like, you know, and I think I said the singing wasn't very good. But David said, because I'm wearing this lapel mic, you can't hear the singing, which I'm quite pleased about because just saying, tone deaf. Okay, right, in this one, this is a front-on view. So we're going to do our slap bang in the middle. You're going to do your arch. And then you do another mini arch, slap bang in the middle. So this time you will see 2 sides because the view is right in the middle, and then you put a line to the corner and a line to the corner, and that gives that sense of depth. And I've just realised I should have done that on that side. There should be a line to the corner there. Anybody got any questions? Nope, good. Okay, and then this little arch is going to be much thinner. So it's on an angle, you're not going to see very much. And I want you to put the baseline in line with that angle there, okay? So you're not going to see very much at all, and we're not going to do an archway inside of that because it's just going to be in shadow later on. We don't need to worry about this because the flowers are going to come in here, all right? So we don't need to worry about any of that bit there. We just need to do the rest of our church in a minute here, and then the rest is super easy. No white with watercolor pencils. That is true. That is very true. So what you need to do is when we colour in, now bearing in mind in the actual picture painting, none of it is really, really pure white anyway. So it's all got pretty much shades of blue. So when you're doing your shading, where I say, right, this is slightly a darker blue, you would put closer blue lines. And then over the rest of the church, I would just put a couple of lines so that when you put your water on, you'll end up just getting a pale blue, and you should be able to get very, very pale blue or almost white. So almost like you discolor the water and then use the blue as your shading. Okay, if you're not sure, get a second piece of paper next to you and just have a practice. I haven't got my watercolor pencils here. Oh, yes, I do. I used them today, but I think I've got a second set here. Yeah, I do. All right, let me show you. I'm lucky. I do have a white in mine. And I don't know about you on yours, but I've got two colours of blue in my watercolor pencils. I just need a piece of paper. Obviously, that's looking like the Holy Grail in an art studio. In a minute, I'm going to show you what my art studio looks like because I have had to move all my furniture around for COVID distancing, blah, blah, blah. And my friend in the Gap, oh my God, sorry, I just wobbled you. My friend in the Gap is going to be starting an eco products shop here in my studio. So I've had a big furniture shift, and in the process of that, I then decided to spring clean. Wishing I hadn't now. It looks, honestly, like an abomination in here. Okay, so Lucy. Okay, I'll do it on the big camera. Can you see? Okay, so let's say you've drawn this bit of the church here. Everybody else, take a sip of wine or a cup of tea. Let me just show Lucy. You might be able to learn something if you have watercolor pencils anyway. All right, so you got that bit there? All right, say this bit here is shady. I would shade this darker. Just get rid of that pencil. And where it's mostly white, I'm hardly using any pressure whatsoever. Now I'm going to move that closer to the camera so you can see how much pressure I've put on. Can you see that? Then when I come to painting it, it will lift the colour like it does, the watercolour pencils. And you just have to be careful that you don't pull that blue into the main bit. So you'll end up with a tint all over. Can you see that? But only a tiny bit of blue on the outside. Obviously, you can see whether it's just wet the paper, but you get the idea, hopefully. That's what you need to do, my darling. Does that help? Good. Awesome. All right, people, now we're on to the curvy bit. So this is the sort of entrance, I guess, to the church. So we want a nice big arch, a bit like an air raid shelter in the front. And then there's an arch in the front of that. And this does have dimension, so go across the bottom. And you want to put in another curve. You put the corner to the corner, and then you put a horizontal like that, and that gives that little window dimension there. 2 more little lines and we've nearly done our drawing. And that is to make this thing like it's popping out. So you need an angled line that goes backwards and joins the curve there. Then you keep this in parallel and you do the same depth line all the way around. Okay, so you do that line there and then you follow it round and you keep the same distance going round. Beautiful. Now to start with, the first thing we're going to do is we are going to just give a base coat of paint to our church, okay? So if you've got white, Lucy, with the pencils, I would just sit and wait for a minute because we're going to put some shading on later. So all I want to do is put a bit of texture on here. I don't want to paint out my lines. I want to be able to see my lines, but I'm just painting some white over the top just to give it a base layer. You know what it's like in Greece? It's really got these beautiful chunky whitewashed walls, hasn't it? So don't be worried about being too precise, but at the same time, don't paint crazy that you lose all those lines you've just drawn. All right, so I'm not worrying about the insides of the windows at this stage. I'm just putting some paint on the panels of the actual building. And then I'm going to paint some on the roof, on the hood, on the dome. And I know the dome's going to be blue, but I just want some texture on it. And I also want to be able to manipulate how much. So don't make it too thick, just enough, just a base layer. And that's it. So that's our church drawn and the base layer of paint done. I'm going to go and get a palette knife ready to show you in a bit. For those of you that are just starting out, you know, you don't have to have swanky tools, and I'm going to show you what I do paint with. If you haven't seen this, if you're one of my new ladies from the UK and you've only done a couple of sessions with me, I want to show you a painting which is on my videos. This little bubba here, which is Vincent van Gogh's Poppy Field. This was painted using a children's brush. It's on cardboard, because when I moved house in COVID, it's painted using a spoon, a fork, my fingers, and like a paddle pop stick, a stick from the garden, and a children's brush. All of that was painted using that. And if I go close, you can see where the fork marks are. So, you know, this is a lovely picture. I was really pleased with how it came out. And if you want to have a go, and really the best way to play around with using palette knives is to do something like this on cardboard, where you don't get too stressed about the end game. It's not on a canvas. You're not trying to do a final piece of artwork. You're trying to learn the skill. So look, this is just from, it's like a bubble blower, I think. I use that one. This is a kid's spoon. That's what I used for the poppies on that one. This, I think, is a polyfiller scraper. You can use those. Then you can go to those cheap kind of $2 shops and they'll sell you plastic palette knives. This set, I think they used to be 4 or 5, cost $2. £1. Then I have this, which is basically just a paint stripping knife. and I use that. And of course, then you can get up to Swanky Pants, which is, you know, proper artist. Do these do a better job than this? Or this? Debatable. It's really about your application. Yes, you know, it's a nicer handle. Yes, it probably has a bit more bend in it, which when you're paletting is helpful. But no, I mean, you know, you can just use what you've got, which is why I say, you know, use a paddle pop stick or a spoon. You can use anything. So if you haven't got anything to hand at the moment, then just see if you've got anything in your cutlery drawer or your picnic kit or something like that. Shout to your hubby, send him out, get yourself a couple of plastic spoons or knives and forks, and at the end of the day, you know, have a little play. All right? Okay, can I find out from you ladies, are you all done with your church? Can we move on to the background? Please let me know in the chat box if you are ready to move on. I am ready, but I don't want to push you on if you're not ready. Hopefully you should be. It's only a tiny little painting unless you're doing a mammoth one. I'm ready to go. Now, when we're painting the sea, really you can't go wrong, okay? Whatever blue you want to paint with is what you want to paint with. But we want to try and get two different tones of blue. So on the church, we're going to go for a lighter blue, and in the sea, we want a much brighter blue, a deeper blue, yeah? And in order to get that sense of depth, I want it to be darker blue at the bottom of where the church is, and it's going to rise above, okay? So we're going to start up. Yep, you're ready. Yep, you're ready. Awesome. Okay, well, let's go. So I'm going to start off with my middle colour blue. So if I just show you again the tones, let me get that in the camera, the tones of blue I've got this kind of pale blue colour. Oh, hang on. God, it's hard to look in the camera and do it. Pale blue, a dark blue, and a mid-tone. So I'm going to start with that colour there. In a blue scale, I guess it's about a 7, something like that. So it is relatively dark. I'm going to start off by putting the blue carefully around my drawing. So using a pointy brush, I'm using a larger brush, but I am being super careful just around the lines that we've drawn. Then I'm going to go this side. So you can see this band here is going to be the dark blue. This band here. And I don't want you to be too precious with it. Try and paint horizontal because that's going to help with the motion of the ocean. Oh, do you like that? A little bit of onomatopoeia there, which means a little bit of rhyming. I'm adding a bit more of the darker blue, so my second tone blue. If you haven't got dark blue, then you could add a little bit of purple or green. Will make your blue a little bit darker. So just at the very base here, I'm just making it a little bit darker. And this painting technique is called threading. When you thread the colour, you're kind of threading the colour between itself. So you're kind of threading it up. Okay, now I'm going to go to the light blue. If you haven't got a second tone of blue, then you can just add some white. And we're trying to get that ombre colour change. So it goes from light up to dark. Sorry, other way around. From dark up, oh my God, I can't get it right. From dark up to light. All right. So you're threading the colour, which means that you're trying to get the little blend, go from one to another. Keep your strokes horizontal because that helps with this, you know, the visual cues that it's water for the person watching it. Now add a little bit of white to your blue, and you want to up lighten it a little bit more. Super careful around the top of the church. So I'm just going forwards and back like that. And now I'm going to get a little bit more white again. And I guess if I'm doing a paint scale, I'm ending up at about a 3 at the top. So you don't want it to be super pale. So I'm at a 3, I would say. And when you're painting on canvases, I need to lift that so I can get underneath the easel. Ugh, up you go. When you're painting on canvases, you need to try and make sure that you get, well, unless you're intentionally wanting the texture to come through. And if your brush is a little bit dry, all you need to do is dip it in the water, because it just means there's not enough liquid to go inside the cracks of the canvas. So just dip it in the water, go back over the top, and you will fill in all those tiny little gappy holes of the canvas. Now, if you want to paint your edges, now is the time to paint your edges. So while you've got the blues, the right colour blues mixed up, you want to go down the side. Now, I always paint them and sort of flick forward. So I paint the side and I flick forward and get those edges painted. And it is kind of nice to get the same colour gradient going down the back, down the sides. Doesn't matter if you don't. Some people just paint like black or something, and you can do that too. So I'm just going to lift mine up. So I'm going to show you, look, I just do this. I paint and flick it from one side to another. Just going to get to the top. And that bit down there just needs to be a bit darker, so I'm just going to put a bit more blue there. And the same on that side. And then on the top, just needs to be, so on the top, I'm going to do exactly the same. I'm going to flick forward. Go right across the top. All right. Now you can see sometimes when you paint over the top, you just then get a funny old line like that. Can you see that? So all I'm going to do is paint the actual curve, the corner of my canvas, and that gets rid of that funny little line. All right, I'm not going to put that down because I'm just going to let that dry. So there's my, just going to the shed for a glue spreader. Go. There is not many people on a Friday night that have a relationship with their clients where someone goes for a glue spreader. Your neighbours are going to be going, oh, look at her, what's she going in there for? That's hilarious. Oh, dear me. Ready, all good, brilliant. Hey, people, I don't know what you're thinking. I would like some praise or non-praise for my painting, because I'm just looking at it now in the monitor going, I love it. I love it. Already that oomph of blue. Oh my God, I love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Boop, boop. You know you're always in for a fun night when you hang out with me. Okay, are you ready for the next thing? Now, if you want to be swanky pants and you want a bit of texture, then while you've got your blues, you can do a bit of paletting. Only if you want to. And if you're scared, then the best way to do this is have another piece of paper on the side, okay? That way, if you do it and you go, and you've never done it before, or you haven't done it for a while, and you go, oh no, then you haven't just done a poop on your picture. But basically, you lay it on. Can you hear the drag? So you basically lay the paint on and you kind of scrape it back, and it kind of gives the texture that you're looking for the ocean, and it gives dimension because it sticks out. So when you're using a palette knife, you don't try and put it on to make it kind of blend like you do with a brush. It's very much to create dimension and texture, okay? So that's why I'm putting it on now after I have already created the blend that I want. So I'm just adding on some big blobs of colour. And you've got to be careful because you put it on and you kind of slide it over the canvas. You don't want to scrape it off too much. You want to just kind of glide it over the top and scrape back enough that you can you see how I'm getting kind of like a watery texture there? So it almost looks like the waves of the sea. And I'm just going to put a little bit of blue in there as well. And the point about this is that it is dimensional. How can I show you that? If I pick it up and I go close like that, can you see that? And then if I turn it to the side, can you see how the paint is like loaded on there, yeah? So that is the intention. If you don't want to do that, you can keep your picture with a flat blend. It is not right, it is not wrong. It is a choice, okay? It is a choice, people. Beautiful, beautiful. Everybody's inspired. Almost as good as yours. Good job, Sylvia. I hope yours is better than mine. If yours is better than mine, they say, then my teaching is done. I'm done. Okay, I'm going to go on to the church now. I want you to get a little bit of the, on the blue scale, I'm going to go for a 3, which was the colour at the top here. And we're just going to, I'm going to need a smaller brush than that. I want you to paint the inside of the arch, but just the very inside of the arch. The very inside, it's just that bit in the middle. The same on this window. Just the inside bit, not the three-dimensional bit, just the inside, and the same on this one. And then this one here is just in the shadow anyway. Okay, now you have got a 3. I want you to make a tone of 2. A tone of 2. And the tone of 2 we're going to use for down here. So we're going to start to put some shade at the bottom of this curve. And I want you to paint over the blue drawing lines as well. They should dissolve a little bit into the background of that colour. You're going to use a 2 on the tiny bit on the inside of your window don't go right up into that curve. Leave that bit white, just into the corner and just a little bit along the side. That same process on the window up here. So just the straight on the way down and a little bit at the bottom, but leave a tiny bit of white and a tiny bit of white. And then we're going to do the inside of the main window on the centerpiece, but leave the bottom windowsill white. That just helps to give some dimension and some movement of light. With that number 2 blue, I'm just doing a little bit over here on the far side of the chapel. And you see it helps because you put that white layer down, it's not coming out too dark at this stage. And then this whole panel here, the last panel, is going to be in the number 2 shade. So it's very subtle. The colouring is very subtle, isn't it, ladies? Yeah? It's not much paint. I'm just going to pull it forward a little bit so you get a bit of a closer look. There we go. Look forward to doing this later. You're okie dokie, Sue. No problem. Sylvia, no way, but I'm having fun. Good. I'm glad you're having fun. That is my aim. Art should be fun. Should be fun. You should enjoy it. I'm realising that I've got far too much paint on my palette. Never mind. Okie dokie. Now, I want you to... If you've got a darker blue, which I had, I want you to add a bit of white to that darker blue and try and mix a kind of 5 colour. Might even be a 4, something just a tiny bit darker. And we're going to just darken this side here. And just kind of let it just feather out. Like that. We're going to use a tiny bit of that darker colour on the right hand side of this inside of the window. Gosh, that's a mouthful. The right hand side of the arch in the centre window. That's a bit of a better explanation. And so we're just trying to get a little bit of depth. We're going to put a little bit in this window on the far side. I'm just literally just putting a little stripe, a little streak. On the window in the bottom, just go, basically the shadow is on the left-hand side of each of these arches. So that's the easiest way. You want to try and create shadow on the left-hand side of each of the arches. And then if you've got a very, very steady hand with that number 5 blue, see if you can just draw in those lines that we first had. And if it was not drawing very well, just dip it into the water so it's a little bit wetter, your brush, and then it should run. So you know those lines there, the lines that create the dimension in the window. Just going to try and get them darker. This is when, Lucy, you're laughing, mate, with pencil. You're like, ha ha ha, ladies, I totally chose the right thing. I haven't got my pink glasses here tonight, so I am struggling a little bit with the fineness of this detail, but I'm persevering. So you're trying just to get some little variations of the dark and the light blue. And I'm just using my brush. And the rules are, wherever the shadow is on the left-hand side of each of the shapes, then that is, on each of the shapes is exactly the same. And then I'm just trying to go over some of these lines with the darker tone of blue. And I'm not trying to make the other lines disappear. I'm trying to add another layer of depth by just adding in some deeper colour. Now, on this roof, it has like an extra ledge, I guess. So you want to do a parallel line across your shape like that, just to give that kind of like stepped look, that stepped layer. Just checking to see if I've got any messages, all okay. All right, and now I'm going to paint the dome. Now, the dome is going to be, I would say, a 4. Blue colour 4. It's very hard when we're painting so many blues, isn't it? Blue colour 4. And then I'm going to paint white over the top with it. So I'm remembering light is on this side, dark is on that side. So I'm going to just paint them and mix them on the roof together. And I'm starting off with a lighter tone because I'm going to add the darker tone over the top. But if I start too dark, it's just really hard to make it pale, isn't it? We know that from other lessons. So I'm going to add a bit more white just down that bit there. So I'm adding in like a patch there, where, as if the sun was bouncing off the roof, just in that bit there. And can you see I'm just bouncing it? All right, and now I'm going to try and get some darker blue. And I'm just going to try and round it. So I'm going down with the curve and then rounding it round the front to try and make it look curved. And I'm just going to keep that tiny white, paler white edge, because that's going to help to make the roof stand out over the sea. Beautiful. And that's our church done, ladies. We're flying. Before we get on to do all the beautiful flowers, I'm just going to put a little boat in my water here. And I'm literally just going to put a navy blue hull, like that. And I'm going to put a single white sail. You can decide to do this if you want, or leave it off if you don't want. Oh my God, I can't tell you how bad that singing is up there. I'm probably going to have to do a little bit more colour in a bit. And then I'm just going to put some streaks across the sea as a little bit of a, what's the word? Reflection. Couldn't think. So when you're painting, like if you're wet, if your paint is still wet like mine is, you have to kind of like drop it on top of it. So you can't over blend and you can't put too much pressure on it. Otherwise you kind of make a real kind of mess on it. So you have to just kind of drop it on and then just like let it sit there. Or you could be less impatient, unlike me, and you could wait till that bit of it's dry, or you could go and get your hairdryer. But I ain't doing either of those tonight. So I just used a bit of the navy blue look to create the boat, the hull of the boat. And then I just did a little bit of a reflection. Now, this is where the fun begins, because this is a layering process, and I'm going to use my fingers, and I'm going to use a palette knife. So, are you brave enough, ladies, and are you brave enough to have a go and do your fingers? I feel like I need a mast on my sail. Looks like it's a bit wobbly. So I need some straight line there. That's better. Okay, so this is what is going to happen. If you're not brave enough, you can use a brush. And we're going to start off with pinks and pinks here. Then we're going to do another layer and then another layer, and down here is going to be greens and blues. So if you don't want to use your fingers, you're going to use a brush, and you are literally going to blob it on like this down the bottom. I should say, are you ready to go on this bit? If you're not ready, then let me know and I'll wait a couple of minutes. So I've got 2 greens, and I'm literally just gonna, and I don't want you to try and mix them, okay? So just lay them on and blob them down. It's quite hard at the bottom of mine on the easel. Don't try and make it look like anything. This is just foliage, a scattering of foliage. Ladies, are you ready to go on? You're okay? You ready? Awesome. Yeah, I've got 1 ready. So I'm going to do a mixture of brush, palette knife, and fingers. And that way, if you're doing one, you can do one. If you're not doing another, you can do another. And see how you go, all right? So I'm just starting off with the greens there. And after you've done the greens, get your blue ready. Good, okay. Get your blue, and now I'm just going to dip the blue. There is an amazing artist in the Gap called Sam Matthews. Kim, you know Sam, don't you? She's fantastic. And she does paintings like this. I love her work. And she has offered to give me one of her paintings, which is really super kind of her, to say thank you for all the work that I've done with everybody, which is really beautiful. But she spends a lot longer than we're going to be spending today perfecting a term which essentially is called optical mixing. Optical mixing is when your eyes create the colour blend. So all you're going to do is lay on colour, but the eyes, when they look at the painting, will make the colour blend itself. So I've done 2 shades of green, and I've done 1 shade of blue. Now I'm going to add my darker blue. And I'm not mixing at all. I'm just dropping it down. Now this, if you're doing pencils with this, this is where you're going to have to create like little shapes, little scrunchy shapes of colour. And when you put your water on, Lucy, you don't want to overblend this, yeah? Because you want some of this shaping to show through. So really, really heavily textured, nice and lumpy at the bottom. Now I'm going into purple. And I'm just going to show you what to do if you're using fingers. So you do exactly the same. You're just dropping it down, and you want to not over blend it, okay? You're just dropping the colour down on and sort of layering it. If you're doing a palette knife, you're going to use exactly the same. You're going to sort of layer it on. So let me show you with a palette knife. I'm going to use the pink. And I'm just dropping it down. And depending on what palette knife you've got will depend what kind of shape it comes out. But I don't think that's really important at this stage. Just blop it on. Try not to smudge your colours. Try to get the vibrancy. And this technique we're going to use in all three of our paintings. So it's a good one for us to work through today. The good thing about using palette knives or something like a lollipop stick is it stops you from kind of brushing paint on. You can't brush it on, so therefore you kind of push your palette down and you just kind of plop it on. It's a very different kind of experience. So I'm going right up to the water's edge with the pink. And now I'm going to switch to my fingers. I'm going to add some orange in between the pink. I love painting with your fingers. I absolutely love it. Don't think it's got anything to do with being a child, although it's fun because as a child you just like getting mucky. But I think it adds a real sort of, I don't know, a fresh kind of, you know, we're all given fingers before we even picked up a pencil. So, you know, it's kind of nice to go back to that. What you've got to be careful is that you don't over smudge. And once I've done, so I've done the orange and I've done the pink, and now I want to lighten it up. And so I'm going to do a final tone, which is going to be white with the pink. And if it turns out a bit lilac, then that's okay as well. And I'm just going to roll on. I'm using a brush now. See how I literally just play from one to the other. Oh, I'm making a real mess here. Trying to get a pale colour and I've just blobbed it all over the place. And what I want to do up towards the end is make the flowers look like they're small, floating up in the air, so you can get a couple scattered around. The same over your church. Just make it look like they're almost like little tiny ones that are just breaking off. You've got to be brave because you're going to paint over a little bit of your church, but that's the point. You need to do some tiny small ones, and you need some pale colour over the top just to break up the denseness of the rest of the colour. So you can see, look how much paint's on my brush, and I'm just rolling it to let it load. So I'm loading it up, look how loaded that is. And then I am literally just dropping it on and letting it roll off, yeah? So I'm dropping it on and letting it roll off. And we eventually want to end up with no white canvas showing. And you do have to be careful because you don't want to over mix it and end up with like sludgy brown. And the only way you can achieve that is by blob and release. We want some of the pink to go down where the blue is, so you can sort of mix it around. Have to leave now, but we'll catch up later. Really enjoyed the session. Hubby's sighing as I now want to add painting to my hobbies. And my husband sighs all the time. All of the time. In fact, not only does my husband sigh, my son sighs. My son today, because David's gone on a bit of a work do, I had to ask him if he would help my girlfriend who is going to be doing our little pop-up eco shop. You can see I'm just going a bit rogue and I'm adding a bit of white. Just to add a little bit of break up the colour. Yeah, and she had a couple of sort of vintage old cupboards that had come from the high school, I think. And like one's a science cupboard. And I mean, it's so typically me, this is. Pick them up. That would be great. Hang on to it for ages. Oh, yeah, I'll paint it. And it sort of sits in you. I think she's had them out at her house for a year. Anyway, she obviously thought that, and now they're perfect for what she wants. So she's delighted. So I went over with my ute, which, Cornish ladies, my ute is called Denzel. So me and Denzel, and I asked Thomas for a bit of manpower, my 14-year-old son, to come and help hump these units. And his face was like, Mum, why do you want that? Like, you've already got so much junk in your studio. I was like, excuse me? So there you go, babes. Guys, I think I'm done. What do you reckon? I think I've done what I want to set out to do today. Loving it. Really happy with that. Can't wait to do the other paintings now. Isn't it fabulous that even though I'm teaching you guys, I'm super enjoying it myself to the point that I'm now excited about painting it as well. Can't wait. Stunning. Thank you, Sue. Listen, before you go, would you like to have a little look at my mess in the studio? Would you like to see where ground zero is? Come on, I think you would. Do you want to have a look? I'm sure you do. Mum, I'm sure you do. Okay, let's take you down. It's a long time since I took you off my easel. Well, in the early days of COVID, when I was doing these, do you remember? The kids and David used to come round, and I used to take you around my studio all the time, didn't I? Okay, so let me see if I can twist you. And no, it needs to be that way. And flick it that way. Turn. Will it flick? No. Oh yeah, there. My God, my hand's in the way. There. Oh, I did it. There. So there you are. Oh. There's my new lights, look. These fancy schmancy ring lights, like I'm a pro now. Okay, so this is one of the units that we picked up today. It's got the sign, and it's got, so this used to be my tuck shop. It's such a mess, I'm so sorry. I will show you when it's all done. So this used to be my kiddie tuck shop where I did my, like, what's on. So that's going to be for the shop. That's obviously for my sip and paints. That's my she shed sign. This is my tea and coffee and my fridge. This is another fabulous unit. Look at that. It's even got the gas taps on the side. And David just looked at, not David, Thomas just looked at it and went, that's so disgusting, Mum. But, you know, me and Di think it's amazing. So here's the entrance. I've had to move my entrance around. It's full of junk at the moment, but that's normally for cat coats and bags when the kids come in, and my aprons. And my desk used to be over there, used to be here, but I've had to move it round because that's going to be a shop. So you come in here, there's my desk, my sanitised station, and then, oh my God, look at the mess. Look at the mess. But it will be organised. The thing is, I've had to reconfigure my desks so that I only have one seat, miss a seat, one seat, miss a seat for when I do holiday classes. So because I started just moving the desks, yeah? And then I thought, to do that, I need to move my shelves further back. So then I thought, well, to move my shelves further back, I need to make some space behind. So you can see, look, it's just, there's all my paintings that I've done. How many sip and paints? Oh, my word alive. So, Ugh. So then I thought, okay, so I had these blinds up. I took all the blinds down. I moved the shelves back another bit. And then I thought, oh, I've got these shelves outside. I'll paint those today. So this is an old library unit that came from a library. So this is normally my make it corner for the kids, where they have cardboard and all of these bits and pieces that the kids can just sit down and make their own thing. This is my paint trolley. So you can just see I'm in a world of pain. This, you normally go around here, and this is my sink, and this is my prep area. Now, underneath there, you won't believe it, but there is actually a bench where I do my prep. But I've moved all of my shelves backwards. So these short tables are going to go along there, and I'm going to have a massive spring clean and dump a lot of stuff. And then this little bit here is my sewing booth. So it's got 2 sewing machines so the kids can come, or adults can come and do some sewing. So that's what it looks like. But as you can see, it's an absolute mess. So I've got a bit of work to do. Oh my goodness, let's flip you back. There we go. So I've got a bit of work to do. Tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. I am doing a unicorn Zoom party for some 5-year-olds, which is going to be super fun. And then I'm going to come in and I'm going to spend another couple of hours blazing through the stuff. I think my friend Diana's going to come and paint these units, and we're going to get this lovely little eco shop. So our she shed in Brisbane is a bit like the WI in the UK, except for it's not really an association. We've just made it up ourselves. And we just get together and we do craft things and things like that. So we're making some environmental eco products like beeswax wraps and cutlery rolls and things like that. And we're going to sell them in the shop, which is going to be super fun. Wish I was there to help. Oh, Mum, I need your help so bad. All right, listen, you enjoy the rest of your Friday, people. And ladies in Brisbane, you enjoy the rest of your Friday night. I hope you've enjoyed it tonight. Don't forget, if you haven't finished, I will save this straight away and you can catch it on the replay, catch up. Please, 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 please send me pictures of your work. I want to see a picture of it each week, but I want to see a picture of the 3 together, because I'm going to get them framed in like a frame. You know, when you have canvases and then you have the plush edge wooden framing, I'm going to get that done in white. That's my plan with these. And yeah, same time next week, 10 o'clock for you guys in the UK with a cup of coffee, and 7 o'clock in Vegas. Okay, see you later. Thank you. Bye.